Yes, sir. Very happy afternoon to all. So we are going to start a new chapter, my dear lovable students. Sir, those who are in online and offline, this is a structure of the subject costing. I have classified into 5 sets: set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, and set 5. In that set number 1 is a hero, that is a cost sheet. Actually, all the chapters, 15 chapters, are connected to only one chapter called as cost sheet. In that cost sheet, if you are writing it as ledger, that is called as cost accounting system. If you write the cost sheet into ledger, such a system is called as cost accounting system. In order to complete the cost sheet, you need the opening stock of WIP and the closing stock of WIP. Basically, WIP valuation. That will be done using through the process costing. So basically, cost sheet, cost accounting system, and process costing is the area number 1 for our exam. You know how to start with the cost sheet? Direct material consumed, direct labor, and direct expenses will give you the prime cost. At factory overhead, you will get the gross factory cost. Sir, the first element of cost are material, labor, and overhead. That's what our slot number 2, which is elements of cost. So again, this is also form part of the cost sheet. Then part number 3 is the types of costing, because the objective of the overhead is to value the cost per unit or stock valuation. The same way, sir, ABC costing is the advanced version of the stock valuation. Sir, service costing is for service unit, service area. And the next one, after ABC and service, you are having, sir, unit costing, batch costing. Actually, unit costing, sir, job costing and batch costing are one set. Unit costing, job costing, and batch costing are one set. This we are going to start now. And there are decision making chapters like standard costing, marginal costing, and budget and budgetary control. Budget and budgetary control. Other than this, only, sir, the left area is the theory part for us. Left area is the theory part for us. So, unit costing, job costing, and batch costing is what the target. So, these are called as the types of costing. These are called as the types of costing. Sir, there are 3 types of costing basically. The subject costing can be classified into 3 categories. There are 3 types of costing are there. Number 1, unit costing. Number 2, job costing. And number 3 is batch costing. Number 1 is unit costing. Number 2 is job costing. Number 3 is batch costing. What this unit costing, you know? Very simple, man. Sir, total cost incurred divided by number of units produced. Just our cost sheet. Exactly just our cost sheet. That means when you are producing homogeneous product, not the heterogeneous product. For example, I am manufacturing pen. If I am manufacturing 10,000 pen, I have to incur total cost. Example, I am giving 1 lakh rupees as the total cost I have incurred. Divided by how much pen? 10,000 pen. Comes to 10 per unit. That's it. In this situation only unit cost will be applicable. So you have to manufacture the unit which should be homogeneous and not the heterogeneous. And the per unit material, labor, overhead consumed should be exactly same. Exactly same. That's what the, sir, unit costing is all about. Basically our cost sheet. Unit costing is equal to cost sheet, which is nothing but the cost of production, that is a cost incurred divided by Manda, number of units. Are you remembering? That's what costing is all about. Unit costing is all about. Where example, sir, with regard to job costing, I will give you an example. Sir, there is, sir, Casa Grande. Have you heard about Casa Grande? Yes, sir. What Casa Grande is doing? They are in the sector of infrastructure. They are constructing, sir, villas. They are constructing bungalow. They are constructing apartments. They are constructing commercial spaces. Are you all really with me? all the infrastructure related they are constructing. For example, my dear lovable students, sir, their total construction cost comes to, sir, 5 crores. How much crore, man? 5 crore. We'll take more also, 50 crore. Let it be 50 crore. 50 crore they have totally constructed. Divided by how many items they constructed? 4 items. That means 50 crore divided by 4 comes to 12.5 crores per item. Right, sir? This is absolutely wrong. Because they have not manufactured, sir, 4 pin. They have manufactured villa. They have manufactured bungalow. They have manufactured apartment. They have manufactured, sir, commercial space. The cost of manufacturing villa may be different from the cost of manufacturing the bungalow. Cost of manufacturing bungalow may be different from the cost of manufacturing the apartment. Cost of manufacturing the apartment may be different from the cost of manufacturing the commercial space. So if I do divided by 4, it will become homogeneous. If it is homogeneous, unit costing. If it is heterogeneous, that is job costing. Because I done 4 different job. There, I can't take the numerator divided by denominator. Comfortable? So, this is the major difference between what and what? Unit costing and job costing. Unit costing means total cost incurred divided by number of units. The population should be homogeneous. Right? Job costing means, sir, total cost incurred has to be bifurcated into 4 category. 4 category. That is, what is the cost for villa? What is the cost for bungalow? What is the cost for apartment? What is the cost for? And divided by something will not come. Divided by something will not come. In the job costing, only numerator will be there. Denominator will not be there. Are you all really with me? Sir, at the time of manufacturing the villa, constructing the villa, this villa is going through 3 processes. Then I have to follow process costing. That is process 1, process 2 and process 3. Getting it? So, you are having unit costing or what costing? Job cost. Process costing is a part of job costing. Process costing is a part of job costing. So, my dear lovable students, coming to the what costing? Batch costing. For whom this batch costing will be applicable? Batch costing will be applicable to a people who are preparing the goods in the batches. Generally, what we will understand, I will tell you that is a wrong understanding. For example, I am, sir, preparing the calculator, manufacturing the calculator, sorry. If I am manufacturing 500 calculator in one shot, I will be calling it as what costing? Batch costing, because I am manufacturing on a batch basis, not on a per unit basis. This is not batch costing. This is not batch costing. Batch costing means, sir, manufacturing in lot is, it is not called as what costing? Batch. Adat kadayadu enna costing solradhu? Batch costing. For example, I will give you, man, sir, in this class itself, sir, I will take, sir, 1, sir, student 1, student 2, student 3. Student 1, student 2, student 3. Sorry. 3 students I am taking as example. In this class itself, I will show you a live example. Look at that student, the last student who wear the red color check shirt. Red color check shirt. That person, second example, blue color check shirt. And the third one, sir, cream color check shirt. You know, sir, this is how the batch will work. I am the manufacturer of the shirt. Okay, sir? How I will manufacture, I will tell you. I will manufacture, sir, that person shirt. That is student number 1 check shirt first, 1000 copies. What I will do, you know, in the system, in the laptop, I will design it as, sir, check with a color of red. Understanding? With a size of 42. And I will give a click in the machine, 1000 shirts will come out. Hello? Immediately after the red shirts manufacturing is over, I will change the color into blue color. I will change the setup. That's why setup cost will be incurring. And I will give a information to the laptop that, or the machine which I am operating that, I want 1000 units of blue color check shirt. So, I am manufacturing red color check shirt as batches, and the other batch is exactly different. But all are shirt only. All are? If all are blue color shirt, then it is a unit costing. If all are blue color shirt, then it is a unit costing. If I am preparing with the same setup, sir, for the first 1000 unit blue color, for the second 1000 unit red color, for the third 1000 unit whatever color you want, I don't have any problem. This is called as batch costing. This is called as batch cost. Sir, generally what students will be having an understanding that total number of units, total cost divided by total number of units. Sir, I am preparing in batch. Then unit costing itself is more than enough, no? In the batch, total batch divided by total number of units potale enna varum? Unit cost. If you go and see, my dear lovable students, in shop like EA Mall, you are going for purchases. I don't know whether you have gone for purchase or not, I don't know. You would have gone to EA Mall surely, but whether you have bought anything or not, I don't know. Sir, same two color shirt will be there. For example, same brand, same size. This is red, that is black. They will say that black 200 rupees extra, sir. I don't know whether you have noticed or not. Because its setup cost may be different. Its setup cost may be costly from the other blue color shirt. Understanding? So that is called as what costing? Batch costing. So what unit costing is saying that if you are going to manufacture a similar number of units which consume same amount of cost for every unit, my dear lovable students, you have to follow the unit costing, which is nothing but total cost incurred divided by number of units. That's it, game over. Simple as such. Sir, whereas job costing is total cost cannot be apportioned to all the job equally because every job differs, every output differs. So you are having different denominator, then I have to take the cost attributable to that particular job divided by how many jobs I have done. Generally it will be one job. Generally it will be one job. Or my dear lovable students, if I spend 50 crores for 5 villas, I can say that 50 crore divided by 5, what is the cost of one villa? Then there I can find out it is unit costing, not the job costing. Getting it? Then with regard to batch costing, my dear lovable students, same product, sir, same product I am, sir, manufacturing in batch. Like this you should not think. That is not what costing, batch costing. Batch costing, different product I am, sir, manufacturing in different lots. Different lots. That is called as. With regard to batch costing, its total cost will change. Setup cost will change. Setup cost for the blue shirt will be different from the setup cost for the black shirt. And the material what is required for the red shirt will be different for the material what is required for the green shirt. Are you really with me? That's what NSR, this unit, these three topics are all about. These three topics are connected. Number one, sir, your costing, you have to adopt either unit costing or job costing or batch costing. These three things have to be connectedly studied. Should not study separately. With this background, I am moving into question number 1 of the unit costing. The following data relating to the manufacture of standard product during the 4-week ended 28th February. Material consumed, raw material consumed 4 lakh. Let it be there. Total raw material consumed is 4 lakh. This is the first item of our cost sheet. Direct wages is 2,40,000. This is the second item of our cost sheet. So if you add this, you will get the prime cost. Right, sir? Sir, in order to do this particular job, machine hours worked is 3,200 hours. Totally 3,200 machine hours has been worked. Every hour, the rate is 40 rupees, my dear lovable students. So, 3,200 into 40 comes to 1,28,000 is the total machine cost. Is the total machine cost. Office overhead, 10% of the what cost? Works cost. Works cost means factory cost. Factory cost order 10% the what overhead? Office overhead. Selling overhead 20 per unit. You have to check how many units you sold. Number of units sold into 20 will give you the selling overhead. Unit produced and sold. Thank God there is no opening stock, closing stock, panchayat and all. 10,000 at the rate of 120. So basically 10,000 into 20 will be the selling overhead. Comfortable? Whatever it may be. Sir, you have sold every unit at what? 120 each. You are required to find out cost per unit. What is the cost per unit? That's what the objective of the unit costing. which is nothing but the stock valuation, which is nothing but the cost sheet. The exactly same thing has been repeated. Why repeated in our syllabus? Just to make the differentiate between job costing and the process cost. See, job costing and the batch costing. That is, unit costing is different, job costing is different, batch costing is different. இது சொல்றதுக்காக தான் the same cost sheet has been once again repeated in our syllabus. Comfortable? So, and a profit for the 4 week ended 28th February. Sir, statement of cost per unit. Sir, this is nothing but what sheet? Number of units produced is equal to 10,000 units. This is called as Monday. When we have written the cost sheet, we have done two things. One is Monday and other is Konda. Right, sir? Now I am following Monday. Raw material consumed. What is the total raw material consumed? 4 lakhs. For how many unit? That means, sir, 40 per unit is a raw material. Sir, the total amount comes to 4 lakh. I will give you a different perspective which I have never given till now. You are manufacturing pen. How much pen? 10,000 pen. 10,000 pen. Sir, for this 10,000 pen, how much cost you incurred? 4 lakh you have incurred. That means every pen consumed how much material? Sir, you take the first pen, the material cost will be 40. You take the 10,000th pen, that material consumed will be 40. That's what the meaning of the cost per unit. But if you take villa, if you take apartment, it won't be 40 per unit for every NSR unit. Are you understanding the, sir? What is the difference between the job costing and the unit costing? So if the population is homogeneous, then we can use the unit costing. If the population is heterogeneous, we can use the, that's it, the difference. Nothing, no other thing I am going to teach you. That is the only reason why I kept this chapter at the end. Even before the day of examination, if you solve, you can solve this. Because nothing new concept I am going to teach except EBQ concept. Except EBQ, economic batch quantity. I will come at the appropriate time. Direct wages. What is the total direct wages paid? That is for how many unit? So the interpretation of this, if you take the first unit or the last unit, the cost per labor unit will be 24. So you will get the prime cost, man. Prime cost comes to 6,40,000, comes to 64 per unit. You manufacture the first product, you manufacture the middle product, you manufacture the last product, cost per unit will be 64. The prime cost will be 64. Shall I add manufacturing overhead? Manufacturing overheads. We know production overhead. Sir, we all know that, sir, mass. Are you all really with me? Which is manufacturing overhead or administration overhead and selling and distribution. This manufacturing overhead is otherwise called as production overhead. Right, sir? They have given the machine hours. They have given the machine hours. How much hours? 3,200 machine hours at the rate of 40. So 3,200 into 40 comes to, I spend 1,28,000 rupees in the factory for 10,000 units means 12.8. This is the absorption. This is the absorption. Comfortable? Sir, I will get the works cost, man. Since there is no WIP disturbance and all, I will be getting works cost. Total 7,68,000 for 10,000 unit come to 76.8. Comfortable? Add office overhead. Office overhead. Sir, nothing has been given in the question regarding whether this is administration overhead related to production or general administration overhead. You can treat it anyway. If you want, you can treat it on administration overhead related to production, or if you want, you can treat it general administration overhead. What I am saying is you have to write it as a note. It is assumed that this is treated as administration overhead related to what? Production. Like that you should not think. That is not my explanation. That is not my explanation. In this question, is there closing stock? Is there? No. Hence, wherever you want, you treat, the answer will not change. Because if closing stock is there, are you all really with me? It will go and sit in the cost of production. It will go and sit in the, in this question, since there is no opening and closing stock of WIP, no opening and closing stock of finished goods. Hello, sir. Sir, all the cost will be expired cost. All the cost will be expired cost. During our current year itself, all the cost will become period cost. Otherwise, if there is closing stock, some portion of the current cost will be unexpired, will be escaped to the next year because it will go and sit in the closing stock. That we will reduce as less closing stock of finished goods. Comfortable? So in this question, since there is no stock valuation, my dear lovable students, you treat it above item or you treat it below item. That is your ishtam. Shall I proceed? So at office overhead 10% of the works cost 7,68,000 into 10% comes to 76,800 divided by 10,000 come to 7 point. You will get the cost of goods sold which come to totally 8,44,000. This is for how many unit? 10,000 unit. So you manufacture 1 unit, you manufacture 5,000th unit, you manufacture 10,000th unit, you will be getting 84.48 as the cost per unit. Comfortable? At selling and distribution. Because in this question, they have not specifically mentioned the administration overhead related to production. They have just said that, sir, what? Office overheads. That we have treated it as administration overhead related to production. Now, selling and distribution for every number of units sold, 20 per unit is the cost. So, 10,000 into 20 comes to 2 lakhs. They themselves given the per unit. So, don't divide by 10,000. Again, you will get 20 only. So, the cost of sales or total cost will be 10,44,800. At a cost of 104 point, question specifically said that they are selling every unit at, so 120 minus 104.48, this difference will be the profit, that is balancing figure, into 10,000 comes to 1,55,000 and 10,000 into 120 comes to 12 lakhs is the total sales, my dear lovable students. A very easy, straightforward cost sheet question, nothing more, nothing less is there. Nothing. If the unit what you are producing is homogeneous, follow. That's it, unit costing. If the unit what you are manufacturing is heterogeneous, follow job costing. Hello, sir. Sir, I am going to manufacture different product at the same time by using the batch concept. Follow. That's it, game over. We have to do nearly 10 questions. Out of that, question number 1 comes to an. Pause the video for 7 minutes. Redo this question and come along with me. We'll be together solving question number 2. Yes, sir. I hope that you would have done illustration number 1. I'm moving into illustration number 2. A, sir, Pharma Care Limited produced a uniform type of product and has a manufacturing capacity of 3,000 units per week of 48 hours. So in a week, maximum they can produce 3,000 units per week of 48 hours. In a week, 48 hours are there. From the records of the company, following data are available to output and cost of 3 consecutive weeks. Week number 1, week number 2, week number 3. Week number 1, they manufacture 1,200 unit. Week number 2, 1,600 unit. Week number 3, 1,800 unit. Direct material, direct wages, factory overhead has been given. Take the calculator. What is the total direct material cost in week number 1? Divided by how many number of unit? That means for every unit, they have spent 7.5. Coming to the second week, what is the total material cost? 12,000 divided by 1,600 unit comes to 7.5. Comfortable? 13,500 divided by 1,800 comes to 7.5. So you can call direct material as variable cost because per unit remains the same whereas the total is changing based upon the production. We already discussed this characteristics. Comfortable? Coming to direct wages, man, 3,600 divided by 1,200 comes to 3. 4,800 divided by 1,600 comes to 3. 5,400 divided by 1,800 comes to. So this is also a variable cost because per unit remains the same whereas total will change. Factory overhead 31,000 divided by 1,200 comes to 25.83. 33,000 divided by 1,600 comes to 20.625. 34,000 divided by 1,800 comes to 18.88. So this is semi-variable cost. This is what? That means inside that some portion will be variable and some portion will be fixed. We all know that in marginal costing we have studied that variable cost per unit is equal to change in cost divided by change in unit. Shall we? So my dear lovable students, variable cost per unit is equal to change in cost divided by change in units. Change in cost divided by change in unit. Change in cost is nothing but 31,000 and 33,000. So 33,000 minus 31,000. Comfortable? Divided by 12,000 minus, 1,600 minus 1,200. 1,600 minus 1,200. That means 33,000 minus 31 will give you divided by units. So 5 per unit is the variable cost. 5 per unit is the. So with this we can find out the total cost for week number 1. For week number 1, what was the total cost? 31,000. So 31,000 classified into two category. One is variable cost and fixed cost. How many unit? 1,000 into 5 will give you 6,000. So 31,000 minus 6,000 comes to is the fixed cost. For the reconciliation, reconfirmation purpose, I am doing once again for the next week. Okay, wow. Total cost for the week number 2 is 33,000, which comprise of how many unit? 1,600 unit. Comfortable? Classified into two category, my dear lovable students. Number 1, variable cost and fixed cost. What is the variable cost? 1,600 units into 5 comes to 8,000. Here it was 6,000. Now it become, because when the number of units increases, variable cost increases. Comfortable? Whereas 33,000 minus 8,000 comes to is the fixed cost. So fixed cost is become fixed. Are you all really with me? Now what they want in the question, I understood that material are variable cost, wages are variable cost. Inside the factory overhead, we all know that variable factory overhead will be there. Fixed factory overhead will be there. Fixed is 25,000. Comfortable? Variable is 5 per unit. Shall I proceed? Assume that company charges a profit of 20% on what price? That is 1 by 5 on sales is equal to 1 by 4 on cost. Find out the selling price per unit when the weekly output is what? 2,000 units. Basically, they want a flexible budget. Basically, they want a, indirectly they have asked the flexible budget. They are asking that in order to manufacture 2,000 unit, what is the cost you will incur? Very simple, straightforward question. Statement of cost and selling price for how many unit? Direct material. You manufacture even 20 crore units also. Per unit will change, will same. Same. How much per unit? 7.5. For 2,000 unit, calculator 7.5 into 2,000. That's it. Basically cost sheet. Are you really with me? Then direct labor. You manufacture X number, N number of units. Will the per unit change or same? Same. How much per unit? 3 per unit. Right, sir? So 2,000 into 3 comes to 6,000 is the total cost. You will get the prime cost because direct material consumed plus direct labor plus direct expense is the. So 7.5 plus 3 comes to 10.5 is the prime cost per unit. For how many unit? Into 2,000 comes to 21,000. Comfortable? Add what overhead? Factory overhead. Add what? Factory overhead. Sir, factory overhead I have to determine now. Now I am going to manufacture how many unit? 2,000 unit. Has to be classified into two category. Variable cost and fixed cost. Variable cost is 2,000 into 5. Because just now we calculated that variable cost is 5 per unit. Comes to how much? Fixed cost is anyway fixed irrespective of the cost of production. Right, sir? So the total comes to 35,000. That's the total 35,000. Getting it? Sir, I am going to incur 35,000 rupees per unit. For how many unit? So 35,000 divided by 2,000 comes to 17.5 per unit. Getting it? So my total cost will be 10.5 plus 17.5 comes to 28. For 2,000 unit comes to 56,000. Now I am having cost in my hand. 1 by 4 on cost is equal to. So simple man. So 28 divided by 4 comes to 7 rupees is the profit. Because 1 by 4 on cost is equal to 1 by 5 on sales. Are you able to appreciate the conversion? Up 56,000 divided by 4 comes to 14,000 is the profit. So the total sales per unit will be 35 because 28 plus 7 with a total cost of 56 plus 14 comes to 70,000. Getting it? If you want, now you can calculate. Take your calculator. 70,000 divided by 5 comes to how much? This is what? 14,000, because 1 by 5 on sales is equal to 1 by 4 on cost. So immediately after conversion, you can do it. You can read the working note whenever you are free in your home, because they are saying that the material is 7.5 per unit and labor is 3 per unit. Comfortable. And factory overhead, they said that per unit it is not matching. Even for us also it is not matching, right sir? Then they have calculated the difference in cost divided by difference in unit. 2000 divided by 400, they got what? 5. Now the total factory overhead for week 2 is 33,000. In that 8,000 is variable, they are saying. 25,000 is fixed, where they are saying. Are you all really with me? If that is a scenario, 2000 units, 2000 into 5 comes to how much? Plus fixed portion comes to, total comes to 35,000 divided by 2000 units, mean every unit 17.5. With this we can declare that we are through with the unit costing, which is nothing but the cost sheet. Sir, one part of the chapter comes to an. I am with you from your heart. Anybody is there? Where is a grand clap? Anything new we studied? Nothing. Nothing. In these 3 chapters, not even one concept I have to teach you. Sir, take a break for 7 to 8 minutes. Do that sum. And I will be doing the batch costing question man, which is illustration number 3. Yes, sir. I hope that you would have done illustration number 2. I am moving into illustration number 3. First of all, understand one thing. The weightage of this chapter is 5 mark. You may get a 5 mark question from unit costing. Very less chance. Because already they are asking 10 mark for cost sheet. Then why are you again asking the same question for 5 mark? No. But you may get surely 5 mark question from batch cost. I will be doing illustration number 3. Arnav Confectionaries owns a bakery which is used to make bakery item. Kandipa, bakery item create pannama. Like pastries, cakes and muffins. Muffins. Right sir. Idella avanga enna pandraangalama? Manufacture pandraangalama. Pastries, cake and muffins. AC na Arnav Confectionaries man uses to bake at most 50 units of any item at a time. Whatever you ask, you want cake, in one slot they can manufacture only 50 items. That means 50 sir in one batch is equal to 50 units. That's what they are trying to say. Okay, right. A customer has given an order of 600 muffins. So 600 divided by 50 comes to 12 batch. Actually, they have to manufacture 12 batch. To process a batch of 50 muffins, that means one batch, the following cost would be incurred. For one batch, direct material is how much? 500. Direct wages is how much? 50. Oven setup cost is 150. AC absorbs production overhead at the rate of 20% of direct wages cost. This into 20% is the production overhead. 10% is added to the total production cost of each batch to allow for selling and distribution and administration overhead. So if you add one more 10%, you will get the total cost of production. AC required a profit margin of 25% on sales value, that is 1 by 4 on sales, is equal to 1 by 3 on cost. Sorry, 1 by 3 on cost. Comfortable? Determine the selling price for 600 muffins or 12 batches is the question. Nothing man. Till now what we have done is per unit costing. Now onwards I am going to think per batch costing. Statement of cost per batch and per order. Number of batches. How many unit you want? For every lot, how much I can manufacture? 50. That means I have to do 12 batches. 12 batches. Look at here. Direct material cost per unit or per batch? Per batch. In per batch, how many muffins are there? So calculator 500 divided by 50 means every muffin need 10 rupees. Right sir? If I am writing 10, it is unit costing. If I am writing the cost for a batch, then it is batch costing. So cost per batch is how much? 500. Cost per batch is 500. 500 for, sir, how much batches? So here you have to write in Monday that 12 batches. That's it. That's the only difference between unit costing and batch costing. In unit costing, you have to express as per unit. In batch costing, you have to express as per batch. In Monday, you have to write total number of units produced. Sir, in Monday, you have to write number of batches. Comfortable? Direct wages, they themselves given in the question. How much is the cost per batch? 50. 50 for how many batches? 50 into 12 comes to 600. Easy, sir. Oven setup cost. What is the one batch oven setup cost? How much time you should set up the oven? So 150 into 12 comes to 1800 is the oven setup cost. Comfortable? You have written direct material, direct labor, direct expenses. Now add production overhead. Production overhead means factory overhead. You have to absorb the factory overhead. Generally, we will absorb the factory overhead based on the direct wages, because the reason for every problem is what? Human beings. Right, sir? So, which is 50 into 20 percentage comes to 10 per batch. How much batches? So 10 into 12 comes to 120 rupees. Comfortable? You will be getting the total production cost. That is 500 plus 50 plus 150 plus 10 comes to 710 is the total production cost per batch. If someone is coming and asking you what is the production cost per unit, what you will do? 710 divided by 50 comes to 14.2. That is called as unit costing. This is, so 710 into how much batches? Into 12 comes to 8520. Getting it? Add. Actually, you have to add general and administration overhead, selling and distribution overhead. They said that selling and distribution and administration overhead 10% of the total production cost. You know, 710 is the cost per batch. Into 10% comes to 71. 71 rupees you are going to incur for every batch. For how many batches? So 71 into 12 comes to 852. So the total cost will be 781, which is nothing but 710 rupees plus 71. 781. For how many batches? Like that you are going to have 12 batches. So 9372. What is the equation? 1 by 3 on cost is equal to 1 by 4 on. In your hand, cost is there or sales is there? So very simple, man. So 781 divided by 3 comes to 260.33 is the profit per batch. For how many batches? So into 12 come to 3124. So the total selling price will be 781 plus 260.33 comes to 1041.33 is the selling price per every batch constitute. Every batch constitute 50 muffins. So calculator, 1041.33 divided by 50 comes to 20.83 is the selling price per unit. For every muffin, you have to charge 20.83 because determine the selling price for 600 muffin. Hello? So if I put into 600, I will get the total sales value. 600 muffins. So selling price for 600 muffins in a sense means, sir, 20.83 into 600 comes to 12,496. Are you all really with me? This is for the full muffin. Sir, this is for the, sir, 50 muffin. That is equal to what? One batch. This is called the one muffin, which is one unit. Comfortable? Clarity? Sir, the same question or like the same question will be repeated in examination for 5 mark. Unit costing is a 5 mark area. Batch costing is a 5 mark area. Job costing is a 5 mark area. Put together all the 3 will come for 10 mark in examination. The hit area is batch costing. They will be asking any of the illustration what we are going to do. Sir, this is very easy area. What you are supposed to do is very simple. Just pause the video for 5 minutes, do the question, come back. We will together solve illustration number 4. Yes, sir. I hope that you would have done illustration number 3. I am moving into illustration number 4. According to me, a good question. Good question from this chapter. A jobbing factory has undertaken to supply 200 pieces of component per month for ensuing 6 months, continuing 6 months. So every month factory is saying that I will supply you 200 pieces. They have not said that every month they will manufacture 200 pieces. They will supply 200 pieces. So they may manufacture more than 200 or less than 200. So they may, what they may do now, first month itself they may manufacture 240 units and keep 40 units of stock, and they may supply 200 units. Every month a batch order is open, against which material and labor hours are booked at actual. Whatever may be the actual material consumed and whatever may be the actual labor incurred. Overheads are levied at the rate equal to the per labor hour. Whatever may be the labor hour, labor cost is equal to what? Overhead. Basically overhead they are going to absorb at 100% of the labor. That's what indirectly English they are saying. Selling price contracted is 8 per piece. Sir, every month they are going to sell 200. So 200 into 8 comes to 1600 will be the selling price every month. From the following data, calculate the cost and profit per piece of each batch order and overall position of the order for 1200 pieces. Why 1200 pieces? 6 months they are going to supply. Every month 200 pieces. So 200 into 6 months comes to 1000. Look at the data. Very good question. Sir, January, February, March, April, May, June. 6 months are there. These are the batch output. First month 210. Okay, fine. We have to supply 200. So they would have kept 10 units as stock. Then 200, 220, 180. Don't worry. Even if you have manufactured only 180, you will be having sufficient stock. Then 200 and 220. This is a material cost. Sir, they specifically said in the question that they have booked the material and labor at actual. So every month you won't be having the same material. Sir, surely material consumed will be different. That's why in standard costing we are analyzing what is the standard material, that is standard quantity, and the actual quantity. Right, sir? And the standard hours and the actual hours, surely it will fluctuate. This is a direct labor hours. First month you have taken 240 hours, second month 280 hours, third month 280 hours, fourth month 270 hours, fifth month 300 hours and 320 hours. The other details are. This is the total overhead, my dear lovable students. In January, 12,000 rupees is the total overhead for the factory as a whole. But for this particular product, you have manufactured how much? 210 unit, right, sir? So you have to absorb the 12,000 to this 210 unit. In factory, not only this product would have been manufactured, there are so many other products also. So you have to absorb the overhead to all the products based upon the direct what hour, labor hour. Look at here, this is a logic. Totally the factory worked for 4,800 hours. Out of 4,800 hours, 240 hours is for this particular project. That means, calculator, what is the total overhead? 12,000. So 12,000 into 240 divided by 4,800 comes to 600 rupees is the apportion overhead for the first month for this particular product. Comfortable? Next one, sir. 10,560 into 4,400 divided by 200 and 10,560 into 280 divided by 4,400 comes to 672 is the share of overhead for the month of February for this particular product. Comfortable? Sir, 12,000 into 280 divided by 5,000 comes to 672 is the share of overhead for the month of March for this particular product. Comfortable? 10,580 into 270 divided by 4,600 comes to 621. So 621 is the share of overhead for the month of April for this particular product. Sir, 13,000 into 300 divided by 5,000 comes to 780 is the share of overhead for the month of May for this particular product. Comfortable? 12,000 into 320 divided by 4,800 comes to 800 is the share of overhead for the month of June for this particular product. Sir, out of 12,000 I have absorbed only 600, sir. My dear lovable students, not only this product is manufacturing in the factory, so many other products are also manufacturing. So this product has absorbed only how much? 600. Comfortable. So out of 12,600 has been allocated or absorbed to this product. Like that, so many other products are also manufactured in the factory. So 12,000 minus 600 comes to still 11,400 is there. That will be in the similar fashion will be absorbed to the other products. Comfortable. So I'm going to calculate the cost per unit or the profit. Straightforward question. Everything is available in the question. You just be with me, give the data. That's it. Batch output in unit. January month. How many units you have manufactured? 210. February, March, April, May, June. Total comes to 1,230. Total units. Every unit you are going to sell at 8 per unit. Calculator. 210 into 8 comes to 1,680 will be the sale price for the month of January. Right, sir? 200 into 8. 1,600. March, sir. 220 into 8. 1,760. 180 into 8. 1,440. 200 into 8. 1,600. June, 220 into 8. 1,760. Sir, total 1,230 unit into 8. 9,840. Getting it? Actually, sir, I am selling only 200 unit, but I have manufactured not 200 unit. All the cost I have incurred for the unit which I have manufactured. For example, material cost I have incurred for the first month January. How much is the material cost? 650. Is it for 200 units or 210 unit? So when I take the sale value of 210 units only, I can reduce the total sales minus total cost. Comfortable? Otherwise, I have to convert all the cost from 210 units into 200 units. Getting it? So, what is a direct material or material cost given in the question? Tell me. 650, 640, 680, 630, 700. Total comes to 4020. Sir, they themselves given in the question. Direct wages, they themselves given in the question. Read it. 120, 140, 150, 140, 150, 160. Total comes to 860. Are you all ready with me? Sir, overhead they said that, sir, it has to be absorbed based upon the direct labor hours. We already absorbed, man. Which is how much? 600, 672, 672, 621, 780 and 600, 672, 672, 621, 780 and total comes to 4145. Total comes to 41. So if you add, you will get the total cost, which is nothing but 650 plus 120 plus 600 comes to 1,370. Getting it? So 1,680 minus 1,370 comes to 310 is the profit per batch. For one batch, for a particular month, I earned a profit of 310. I earned a profit of 310. Getting it? This is the total profit which I have earned in the month of January. 1,452 is the total profit I have earned in the month of what? February. 1,502 is the total profit I have earned in the month of, total cost I have earned in the month of March. Sir, 1,391 is the total cost I have incurred in the month of 1,630 is the total cost I have incurred in the month of 1,680 is the total cost I have incurred in the month of 9,025 is the total. So from the total sales value, if I reduce the total cost, I will get a profit per batch 310, 148, 258, 49. Oh my God, there is a loss of 30, 80 and total profit of what? 815. Now take your calculator, man. How much is the total cost you have incurred for the month of January? 1,370. For how many unit? So 1,370 divided by 210 comes to, that is the cost per unit, 6.52. 6.52 per unit. So now into 200 means you will get the total cost. Into 210 means you will get the total to total cost. Are you getting it? Sir, what is the total profit you have earned? 310. For how many unit? So 310 divided by 210 means 1.48. 1 point. Sir, here, sir, what is the total profit you have earned? 148 divided by 200 comes to 0.74. Next one. 258 divided by 220 comes to 1.17. Next one. 49 divided by 180 comes to 0.27. Sir, next one, there is a loss of 30. 30 divided by 200 comes to 0.15. Next one, 80 divided by 220 comes to 0.36. What is the total profit you have earned? What is the total profit you have earned? 8154, how many unit? That means 0.66 per unit is the profit, right, sir? What they want in the question, look at it, man. Sir, a jobbing factory has undertaken to supply how many pieces of a component per month for ensuing how much months? Every month a batch order is open, against which material and labors are booked at actuals. That's why every month it is not one and the same. Comfortable? Overhead are levied at the rate equal to per whatever labor hour. That's what they have given the labor hour. So based upon the total labor hour of the factory into labor hours which has been applied for this particular job, we have apportioned that cost. Comfortable? Selling price contracted is for how much per piece? From the following data, calculate the cost and profit per piece. Cost and of each batch order. That's what we have done till now. That means from each batch in every month, what is the cost per unit? What is the profit per unit? And they want overall position of the order for how many pieces? You tell me this 1200 pieces, you would have sell every piece at how much? 8 rupees. So calculator, 1200 into 8 comes to 9600 will be the sales value. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What is the cost per unit? Overall cost per unit, whatever may be the batch, 7 point. So 7.34 into 1200 units comes to 8808. So there is a profit of 790. Sir, this profit is 815. That is for how many units? 1230 units. It will not match. It will not match. This is for the factory as a whole profit and loss. This is a profit and loss for that particular consignment, which is every month 200 units. For how much months? 6 months, which comes to 1000. Fantastic to the core. This 1200 has been sold for how many per unit? And we have incurred a cost of 7.34 per unit. So, per unit you have earned a profit of 8 minus 7.34 comes to 0.66, which is nothing but, look at here, 0.66 is the profit per unit. Comfortable? Into how many units you sold like that? 1200. So 0.66 into 1200 comes to 792 is the total profit you have earned. Getting it? So first part of the answer we have solved with a, sir, idea to get, my dear lovable students, sir, to get the overall batch cost and overall batch profit which are at actual. Inside that there is one consignment to supply every month. How many unit? 200 unit, which for a continuous period of 6 months. So total of 1000, we find out the profit or loss for the 1200 units. Comfortable? Very easy. Anything new conceptually you have learned? Nothing. Just we are practicing how to apply this chapter. Without doing this, if I go to examination, I can't get that 5 mark. If I apply this and go to examination, I'll be able to solve this in a very easy way. Sir, this area is a 10 mark area for examination, which is unit costing 5 mark, batch costing 5 mark, job costing 5 mark. Put together, it will come for 10 mark in examination. Comfortable? So quickly try this question. With this, we can say that illustration number 4 comes to an end. I will be doing illustration number 5 for the day, my dear lovable students. Stop the video, pause the video, do that sum and start listening, continuing listening illustration number 5. We have done 4 questions from the unit and batch costing. I'm moving into question number 5. Before we solve question number 5, without this background, you can't understand what that question is all about. For example, I know that annual demand is equal to 10,000 unit. Okay, for any company, annual demand is 10,000 unit. Per batch, in any batch, I can produce only 100 units. More than 100 unit, I can't produce it. Hello, sir. So calculator man, 10,000 divided by 100 means what? Number of batches. What I'm supposed to produce is 100 batches. 100 what? Batch. Sir, what I can do, you know, for every time I am preparing or doing one batch, I have to incur the processing cost. I have to incur the setup cost. I have to set up for every batch. right? If I am manufacturing in one shot, for example, all 10,000 units I am manufacturing in one shot, I am going to manufacture. 10,000 unit, or shot, or batch 10,000 unit. Then how much time I need to set up? Only one time I have to set up. Comfortable, sir? If I am having a production capacity, man, if I want, I can manufacture 10,000 units in one shot. எனக்கு அவ்வளோ பெரிய பிளான்ட் இருக்கு, அவ்வளோ பெரிய கெப்பாசிட்டி இருக்குன்னா, I can manufacture 10,000 units in one shot. How much time I have to set up? One time. That means my setup cost will be less. But if I manufacture 10,000 units in one shot, I have to carry that 10,000 units throughout the 12 months. Comfortable? Then carrying cost will be more. Carrying cost will be. So, idanada idu? If the setup cost paatha, sir, setup cost kammiyana carrying cost enna irukku? Adhigama irukku. Sir, carrying cost kammiyana setup cost enna idum? Adhigama idum. Enna kaaranamna, in case na vande instead of manufacturing 10,000 units in one shot, if I am manufacturing only in 100 units in every batch, I have to do 100 batches. Okay, fine. If I am doing 100 batch, every batch will give you an output of only how many unit? 100 units. So carrying cost will be very less. No need to go and hire a godown to carry that raw material. Are you getting it? But 100 times I have to incur the what cost, man? Setup cost. So இவங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் சண்டை போட்டுக்கிறாங்க. சார், யார் கம்மியானா செட்டப் காஸ்ட் கம்மியானா கேரியிங் காஸ்ட் அதிகமாயிடும், கேரியிங் காஸ்ட் கம்மியானா செட்டப் காஸ்ட் அதிகமாயிடும். Are you really with me? I need a point where setup cost is equal to what cost? Carrying cost. At that point, my cost will be economical. My cost will be, that is represented as economic batch quantity. Economic what quantity? Economic. நம்ம வந்து எப்படி at break even point, sir, contribution is equal to fixed cost அப்படின்னு சொல்றோமோ, அதே மாதிரி at the, sir, EBQ, what is EBQ? Economic batch quantity, my carrying cost will be equal to the setup cost. Are you all really with me? This has been derived by a formula, root of 2AB divided by C. Root of 2AB divided by, how that root come, how that 2 come, A come, B come, C come, everything I will explain. Sir, first we will be calling that A as demand, which is D. D is equal to what? Annual demand. D is equal to what? Annual demand. Sir, S stands for setup cost per batch. Setup cost for one batch. How much is the setup cost? C stands for carrying cost per unit per annum. Sir, C is equal to carrying cost per unit per annum. Carrying cost per unit. You should be very clear with the data, man. Sir, what is A stands for? Enna demand? Annual demand. What is S? Setup cost per batch. Setup cost per batch. What is the C? Carrying cost per unit. I will give you an example. Monthly demand of a product is 500 unit. Monthly demand. Every month the customer wants 500 unit. So I am having various options. One time, sir, on first of the month I can manufacture 500 units and I can aram se sleep. And I can supply 500 units. Then I need to set up only one time. Comfortable? But I have to carry that 500 units throughout the month. That much big godown I need. So I have to pay rent for the godown. So I saved in setup cost. I lost in carrying cost. Comfortable? Setup cost per batch. In order to do one time setup, how much rupees I am incurring? 60 rupees I am incurring. So if the number of setup reduces, the setup cost reduces. Number of setup increases, the setup cost increases. Comfortable? Cost of manufacturing per unit is 20 rupees. So one unit, direct material, direct labor, direct expenses, prime cost, everything, the cost of production is equal to how much per unit? 20. Sir, rate of interest is how much percent per annum? That means 20 into 10 percentage comes to 2 rupees is the, it is per annum. Right, sir? I want, sir, carrying cost per unit per annum. Per unit, per annum. That means in order to carry that product for one unit, sir, for 1 year, I need 2 rupees. I need what? 2 rupees. That is what rate of interest stands for. Rate of interest in the sense means it shows the carrying cost. It shows the, because if I taken go down for rent, I have to pay rent to that. In order to pay that, I have to borrow money. So this much incurring, I have to incur the interest cost. Determine economic what quantity, batch. So what is the problem I am facing? I am having multiple options. Either I can manufacture 500 units in one shot and sleep, or every one unit for 500 times and will not sleep at all. If that is the case, no need of carrying costs at all, but only setup cost will come 500 times 60 rupees. Then I will die because of the setup cost. So I need a point where my setup cost and the carrying cost should be equal. That point is called as economic what quantity, batch quantity. That is equal to root of 2AB divided by C. This is my wordings, man, but not the ICAI wordings. Are you all really with me? They are calling 2 as 2. A stands for annual demand. A stands for annual demand. And B stands for batch cost, which is setup cost means batch. Correct? That's they are calling as S. I am calling it as batch cost. Batch setup பண்றதுக்கு எவ்வளோ batch cost. And C stands for carrying cost per unit. That is equal to, man, root of 2 into what is annual 500 into what is the setup cost per unit per batch 60. Comfortable, sir? Yes, sir. Sir, divided by, sir, carrying cost per unit per annum. Yes, sir, which is equal to 20 into eவ்வளோ percent? 10%. Sir, what is the formula? You come back 2 into, sir, root of 2AB divided by C. A stands for annual demand, but question they have given only. Here you may commit a mistake in exam. You should see whether that is monthly demand or annual demand. Sir, why are you taking annual demand? Because below denominator is carrying cost per unit. If I take numerator monthly, it will be monkey by donkey. It should be monkey by monkey. So in order to that, numerator also annual, denominator also annual. Comfortable? So I have done mistake. No, I have taught you correctly. So my economic batch quantity is equal to root of 2AB divided by C. That is equal to root of 2 into 500 into 12 into 60 whole divided by 20 into 10%. Comfortable? That means, my dear lovable students, 500 into 12 come to 6,000 units is the annual demand. Into 2 comes to 12,000 unit. Into 60 comes to 7,20,000 divided by 2. That means root of 7,20,000 divided by 2 comes to 3,60,000. Sir, what is the root of 3,60,000? 600 units. How many unit, man? So it's better to produce in one batch. How many unit? 600 unit. How many unit? 600 unit. You tell me how many units you need in a year. 500 into 12 is what you need. So 6,000 unit you need, right? Every batch you are going to manufacture 600 unit comes to 10 batches. That means you are going to manufacture 10 batches. You are going to produce 10 batches. Comfortable? So look at here, man. At EBQ, you will be having two costs. What and what? Setup cost and carrying cost. So 10 batches you have to set up. Every batch you should be set up 60. So 60 into 10, 600 you will be setting up. Are you really with me? Carrying cost will be, my dear lovable students, carrying cost for the per unit per annum for 10 batches. Correct, sir? So my dear lovable students, I will tell you very simple. Sir, if you see the stores ledger control account, if you see the, in the start of the year, you will start manufacturing the batch of how many units, you know? 600 units, because one batch consists of 600. So in the start of the year, your stores ledger contains 600 units. Your stores ledger contain 600 units. Getting it? Then you will start consume. At the end of the year, it will become 0. At the end of the year, it will become. So when you see that dabba, this will be the dabba's position. At the start of the year, it will be 600. and at the end of the year it will be 0. Because once I manufacture the product, I will not do puja. I will be start selling. So when I see the source ledger control account, at the start of the period, 600 units will be there. At the end of the period, 100 units will be there. Right, sir? So startless 600 units I were carrying. Endless 0 units I were carrying. That means averagely I were carrying 300 units throughout the period. Getting it? அப்போ என்ன சொல்லலாம்னா சார் 600 யூனிட்ஸ் கேரி பண்ணி 0 ஆச்சுன்னு சொல்றது ஒன்று தான், ஸ்டார்டிங்ல 600 எண்டிங்ல 0ன்னு சொல்றது ஒன்று தான் சார். த்ரூ அவுட்டா நான் 300 யூனிட்ஸ் கேரி பண்ணேன்னு சொல்றது ஒன்று தான். That means my dear lovable students, my total what cost carrying cost, my total what cost carrying cost will be half of EBQ, economic what quantity, batch quantity. Because நான் எவ்வளோ மேனுஃபேக்சர் பண்ணுவேன் 600 யூனிட்ஸ், அது என்னோட ஸ்டோர்ஸ்ல ஸ்டார்டிங்ல இருக்கும். அது என்ன ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும், கன்சியூம் ஆயிட்டே இருக்கும். இயர் எண்ட் மந்த் எண்ட் ஆகும்போது 0 ஆயிடும். அப்போ நான் ஸ்டார்டிங்ல 600 கேரி பண்ணேன், எண்டிங்ல 0 கேரி பண்ணேன். தட் மீன்ஸ் ஆவரேஜா அப்போ half of EBQ என்னது, which is nothing but my dear lovable students, எனக்கு ஸ்டார்டிங்ல எவ்வளோ இருந்துச்சு 600, எண்டில் 0 divided by 2. So which is 600 divided by 2 comes to 300 units is what effectively I am carrying throughout the month. என்னப்பா? So my dear lovable students, half of EBQ, half of what? EBQ, economic what quantity, batch quantity, into carrying cost per unit per annum. Right, sir? What is the EBQ? 600 divided by 2 into, sir, 20 into how much percent? 10% comes to 2. So basically, sir, 600 divided by 2 comes to 300 into 2 comes to, because at EBQ my carrying cost should be equal to the setup cost. Sir, இது எங்க மட்டும்தான் நடக்கும்னா at EBQ. So if you are manufacturing 10 batches, my dear lovable students, sir, you are carrying cost and the setup cost. This will be 600 and this will be 600. Sir, total cost will be 1000. Someone will be having a doubt. Sir is saying wrong, sir. Why I have to go with EBQ? Sir, I am deciding 2 options. So batches classified into 2 category. Sir, one is 9 batches and 12 batches. Can I have? Because I said that EBQ is equal to how much batch? 10 batch. You are saying that no. I am going to manufacture 9 batch. Timur. We'll check it. Don't worry at all. If it is 9 batch, what is the annual requirement? 6,000 unit. Divided by how many batch? 9 batch. That calculator, man. 6,000 divided by 9 comes to 667. 66.66 will be the every batch number of units. And here 12 batches means annual requirement is equal to 6,000 units divided by 12 batches. So 6,000 divided by 12 comes to 500 units I have to create for every batch. Comfortable, sir? So I have to calculate the what cost and the what cost, setup cost and the carrying cost. Right, sir? If 9 batches means 9 times I have to set up. Every time it will be 60 into 9 comes to 540 will be the total what cost? Setup cost. Now I have to carry, right, sir? Every time if I manufacture I will get 667, but starting 667 will be there, ending 0 will be there. So 1 by 2 into 667 into carrying cost per unit per annum will be how much? 2. Hello, sir? So 667 divided by 2 into 2, you will get the same 667. So calculator, man, 667 plus 540 comes to 1207 is the what cost? Total cost. But if you are listening to me, you have to incur only 1200. You can save that 7 rupees. Getting it? This is the only combo where your carrying cost will be equal to the setup cost. Where the combo potalo, you will be fall in with the higher cost. Comfortable? If you want, sir, you can increase the rate. No problem at all. At 500 units, I am putting. That means, sir, my what? Setup cost and what cost, man? Carrying cost. Are you all really with me? My setup cost will be, I have to set up how much time? 12 batches into 60. 12 into 60, 720. Comfortable. Whereas carrying cost, every time 500 units come out, that means, sir, 500 divided by 2. That is average inventory, right, sir? Into 2 is the carrying cost per unit per annum, because I am calculating total carrying cost for the entire year, right, sir? 2 get cancelled, you will be getting what? 500. So 500 plus 720 comes to 1200. And why are you going there, man? Sir, come along with me. You have to spend only 1200. Comfortable. So at EBQ, your carrying cost will be equal to the setup cost. Carrying cost will be equal to the. So that is what the intention of the EBQ at all. That is at EBQ, my carrying cost will be equal to the setup cost. At EBQ, my carrying cost will be equal to the. So if you see at EBQ, my carrying cost, my what cost, man? Carrying cost. What I will carry? I will carry EBQ, economic batch quantity divided by 2. Economic batch quantity divided by 2. Half of EBQ only I will carry. Correct? Into carrying cost per unit per annum. This is what I will carry, my dear lovable students. Getting it? Basically, average inventory I will carry. Average inventory of what? Average of EBQ I will carry. That's why EBQ divided by 2. So if I put EBQ, if I am manufacturing 500 units, I will carry 250 units. Because starting 500 units will be there, ending 0 units will be there. Getting it? So 500 divided by 2 will be 250 units into carrying cost per unit per annum. This should be equal to, sir, setup cost. What is setup cost? Annual demand. What demand, man? Annual demand. Divided by EBQ. Divided by EBQ. Because if I put number of sir, total demand divided by EBQ, I will get the number of batch. I will get the number of batch into setup cost per batch. I will get the amount. So this is what my, sir, situation or condition should be. At EBQ, my what should be equal to what? Carrying cost should be equal to the setup cost. Carrying cost should be equal to the setup cost. Carrying cost should be equal to the. Are you all really with me? Look at here, man. So what should be my EBQ? What should be my? Look at here. Look at here. Here AD is there. Yes, sir. Here, sir, setup cost per batch is there. In denominator 2 is there. So 2A, sir. Yes, sir. This denominator I made to numerator. Denominator மேல எடுத்துட்டு வரும்போது என்னாச்சுன்னா 2 ஆச்சு. Are you all really with me? Into A the same A. This component, this into portion. Hello, sir. Which is A and S means setup cost. Hello, sir. Here in, sir, numerator I am having carrying cost per unit per annum. This side I am bringing. Then it will become what? Denominator. Carrying cost per unit per annum. Hello, sir. Here I am having EBQ. Here I am having EBQ. 2 times. So root of, square root of. That's how it has derived that. Root of 2AS divided by carrying cost per unit. That's what they have written as 2 root of 2DS divided by C. That D, they stands for demand. But they have not, sir, they are meaning that annual demand. They are meaning that annual demand. But you may miss in exam. That's why I'm calling it as A. B stands for what? Batch cost. Batch cost, which is nothing but setup cost. Divided by carrying cost per unit per annum. This is how they have derived this formula. Because at EBQ, your carrying cost should be equal to the setup cost. So at EBQ, what is my carrying cost? What I will carry? Whatever I am manufacturing, half only I will carry. That's why EBQ divided by 2. For every unit, I will be spending carrying cost per unit per annum. This amount should be equal to the, sir, my setup cost. How much setup you will make based upon how much demand you need. Hello, sir. So annual demand divided by EBQ. For example, I need 500 units. I need every NSR batch. I am going to manufacture 10 units means 500 divided by 10 means, sir. So 50 batches I am going to produce. Or in every batch I am going to produce 50 means 500 divided by 50 means 10 batch I am going to produce. Right? That's why annual demand divided by EBQ into setup cost per batch. So what they have done, EBQ is equal to, so economic batch quantity should be equal to, sir, there should be a point where my carrying cost should be equal to the setup cost. So I am checking inga paru இந்த சைடுல இருக்க ரைட் ஹேண்ட் சைடுல இருக்க ஃபார்முலா அப்படியே வெச்சிட்டேன். நியூமரேட்டர்ல யார் இருக்கா? A இருக்காங்க, S இருக்காங்க. அதான் AS. ஓகேவா? A stands for what demand? Annual demand. S stands for setup cost per batch. Comfortable? இந்த சைடுல லெஃப்ட் ஹேண்ட் சைடுல டினாமினேட்டர்ல யார் இருக்கா? 2 இருக்காங்க. அத நியூமரேட்டர்ல எடுத்துட்டு வந்தா அப்ப 2AS ன்னு ஆயிடுச்சு. Comfortable? Divided by left hand sideல நியூமரேட்டர்ல யார் இருக்கா? Carrying cost per unit. அத நான் ரைட் ஹேண்ட் சைடுக்கு எடுத்துட்டு போறேன். டினாமினேட்டர்ல carrying cost per unit per annum ஆயிடுச்சு. ரைட் சார்? 2 times I am having EBQ, man. So I have to root it, for square root it. That's why EBQ is equal to root of 2AB divided by C, or sir 2, sir, as per ICAI 2 DS divided by C. Whatever comfortable for you, you have to proceed with it. Comfortable? Sir, actually what I have done, I have explained the concept of what is economic batch quantity. With that, I am going to solve illustration number 6. Actually, I have solved illustration number 6. Now you can enjoy that. Mrs. KBC Bearing Limited is committed to supply how much bearing per annum? So they have to manufacture totally 48,000 per annum to Mrs. KMR Fans on a steady daily basis. It is estimated that rupees 1 as inventory holding cost per bearing per month. I don't want per bearing per month. I want per bearing per annum. That is carrying cost per unit per annum. That is 1 into 12 come to 12 rupees is the carrying cost per unit per annum. And that the setup cost per run of bearing manufacture is 3,200. Wow. For one time setup, I have to incur what? 3,200. Determine the optimum run size of bearing what? Manufacture. Which is nothing but root of 2AB divided by C. Comfortable? Which is nothing but root of 2 into. Have you understood how that 2 came? It is half 1 by 2. So denominator 2 was there. Now it has become numerator. Into annual demand of how much? 48,000 into 3,200 divided by C comes to 12. Shall we? So 48,000 into 2 into 3,200 divided by 12 comes to 2 crore 56 lakhs. Shall I put a root? So for that root, if you put means 5059.6, basically 5060 units. That's what the answer for first one. So in every batch, it's better to manufacture 5060 unit. Easy. Simple, man. That means how much yearly you need? 48,000 bearing you need. In every batch, you will manufacture 5060 unit. Right, sir? Can you find out number of batches? So calculator 48,000 divided by 5060 comes to 9.48 batches, or rather 9.49 batches. I can't run 9.49 batch. I have to mandatorily run 10 batch. Are you really with me? Mandatorily I have to run 10 batch. How much batch? 10 batch. State what would be the interval between two consecutive what run? That means ஒரு ரன் ஓடுனதுக்கு அப்புறம் அடுத்த ரன் ஓடுறதுக்கு எவ்வளவு இன்டர்வல் இருக்கும் கேக்குறாங்க. ரொம்ப சிம்பிள் மேன். That is, sir, interval between how much days in a year? 365 days are there? Yes, sir. How much batches you are going to run in year? 10 batch. அப்ப 365 divided by 10 batch comes to 36.5 days. That means every 1 month you have to run one batch. 36. It's not 30 exactly. 36. 30 days constitute 1 month, man. So, ஒரு 36 நாள்லயும் ஒரு பேட்ச் ஓட்டணும் நீ. அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ற? என்ன ஜாலி, என்ன லாஜிக், ரைட்டா? Actually, this I have done in the last question itself. Hello, sir. So, find out the minimum inventory and a cost, holding cost. That means they are asking carrying cost. Carrying cost is nothing but half of EBQ into carrying cost per unit per annum. Right, sir? That is EBQ எவ்வளோ? 5060 into 1 by 2 into 12. So 5060 over half 2530 into 2 into 12 comes to 30,360 is the total carrying cost you should incur for the entire year. This should be equal to the total setup cost at EBQ. If you take any other level, this will not match. Comfortable? With this, we can say that we are done with the 3 chapters in this slot. Number 1 is unit costing. Number 2 is batch costing. Number 3 is material chapter. Because material, you will call it as EOQ, economic order quantity. Here it is economic batch quantity. There you will talk about raw material. Here you will talk about finished goods. That is the only difference. There you will talk about raw material. That means you know that after you prepare the raw material consumption budget, you will prepare the raw material purchase budget. So how I have to purchase in one shot, whether I have to purchase or in multiple lots I have to purchase. That's what economic order quantity, EOQ. That is from the angle of the raw material. Here it is EBQ. It is from the angle of the finished goods. Hello? This is economic batch quantity. So in one shot, we have done 10 mark for examination, my dear lovable students. Comfortable? We are only pending with illustration number 7. So when you try illustration number 6 and 7, I will be doing illustration number 7 now itself for you. With that, you know, unit costing and batch costing comes to an. Sir, I am with you, sir, from your heart. Anybody is there? Where is the grand clap? Yes, sir. I hope that you would have tried, sir, done question number 5 and 6. The last question from the unit and batch costing. Company has an annual demand from a single customer of 50,000 liter of paint product. Sir, annual demand. So, annual demand is equal to 50,000. It is their ishtam to manufacture the paint in varieties. Right, sir? They can either manufacture all 50,000 and they can carry in their head. Or 1 liter 50,000 times they can manufacture. That is their ishtam. The total demand can be made up of a range of color to be produced in a continuous production run, after which a setup of the machinery will be required to accommodate the what change? Color change. That means when you are manufacturing white color, one setup is needed. If you are going to the yellow color, another setup is needed. The total output of each color will be stored and then delivered to the customer as single load immediately before production of the next color commences. So one batch over, it will be dispatched to the customer and before the start of the next batch production. Setup costs are 100 per setup. So one time if you want to set up, you have to spend 100 rupees. The service is supplied by an outside agency as required. The holding costs are incurred on the rented storage space, which costs 50 per square meter per annum. For 1 year, sir, for 1 square meter, 50 rupees. Each square meter can hold 250 liter suitably stacked. That means 1 square meter need 250 liters. Okay. So 50,000 divided by 250 liter comes to euro square meter. 200 square meter. For every square meter they are charging 50. So 200 into 50 comes to 10,000 is the total carrying cost for the entire 1 year. You are required to calculate the total cost per year, where batches may range from 4,000 to 10,000 liter. So one batch 4,000 liter. Then, sir, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. In multiples of how much liter? So 4,000 nam arambikano. Okay va? Total required is how much? 50,000 liter. Calculator man. 50,000 divided by 4,000 liter means I have to have 12.5 batches. Okay. No, sir. Number of batches romba adhigama irukku. So instead of 4,000 liter, multiples of 1,000. Next multiple of 1,000 after 4,000. 5,000. Upper 50,000 divided by 5,000 come to 10 batches. No, sir. 10 batch romba adhigama irukku, sir. I am making to how much liter? 6,000 liters. So 50,000 divided by 6,000 comes to 8.33 batches. No, sir. Romba adhigama irukku, sir. I am moving to 7,000 batches. 50,000 divided by 7,000 comes to 7.14. No, sir. Romba adhigama irukku, sir. Sir, I am moving into 8,000 batches. 50,000 divided by 8,000 comes to 6.25 batches. No, sir. Batches romba adhigama irukku. 50,000 divided by 9,000 batches comes to 5.55 batches. No, sir. Batches romba enna irukku? Adhigama irukku. 50,000 divided by 10,000 batches. How much batch? So like this, you have to have a different batch criteria and you have to calculate the total cost. And hence choose the production batch size which will minimize the what? Cost. Don't worry, man. You will never get the minimized cost. Because only at economic batch quantity, the total carrying cost will be equal to the total setup cost. These all are lottery method. Right, sir? In lottery method, you will not get the answer. Use the economic batch size formula to calculate the batch size which will minimize the total cost. So coming to the total cost and solution, this is a normal question only. Production batch size in liter. First one 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 and 10,000. They only want in multiples of 1,000 liters. So calculator man, sir, annual demand is equal to 50,000 liters. So calculator man, 50,000 divided by 4,000 liter per batch, 12.5. So here I am writing 12.5 batches. 50,000 divided by 5,000 comes to 10 batches. 50,000 divided by 6,000 comes to 8.33 batches. 50,000 divided by 7,000 comes to 7.14 batches. 50,000 divided by 8,000 comes to 6.25 batches. 50,000 divided by 9,000 comes to 5.55 batches. 50,000 divided by 10,000 comes to 5 batches. Getting it? You tell me, sir, for setup, how much is the cost per batch? 100. I am having number of batches here as working note, right, sir? Calculator man, 12.5 into 100 comes to 1250. Able to match it. Sir, 10 into 100 comes to 1000. 8.33 into 100 comes to 833. 7.14 into 100 comes to 714. 6.25 into 100 comes to 625. 5.55 into 100 comes to 556. And 5 into 100 comes to 500. I have finalized the watt cost. Now I have to write the carrying cost per unit per annum. Right, sir? If I am manufacturing, sir, in every batch, how many liter? 4000 liter. I will carry 2000 liters. Because half of EBQ will be the carrying. Hello, sir. For every carrying, sir, they have specifically told that what is the calculation, sir. How much I need? Sir, I totally need 200 square meter. 200 square meter. Hello, sir. For every square meter, 50 rupees. So I have to calculate the total what man holding cost per annum. Shall I calculate? How much I should hold? 2000 liters I should hold. If I am manufacturing 4000 liter, because if I am manufacturing 4000 liter, start will be 4000 liter, end will be 0 liter, average I have to carry 2000 liter. So divided by, my dear lovable students, sir, how much square feet I need, I have to check, correct? Divided by, you tell me, how much liter I should carry? 250 liters I can carry every square meter. So divided by 250 into how much per square feet? 50 per square feet. Getting it? That means it comes to 400. I will explain once again how 400. If anyone is not able to appreciate. Let me ask you a question. In one batch, how many liter? 4000 liter you are going to manufacture. Like that 12.5 batches you are going to manufacture. Right, sir? So 4000 divided by 2 comes to 2000 liters you will be carrying averagely. Sir, 2000 divided by each square meter can hold how many liter? So divided by 250 liter means how much square meter needed? 8 square meter needed. For every square meter, what is the cost? So 8 into 50 comes to, that's how they have derived 400. Now I think I can easily do the remaining, correct? Okay, man. 5000 divided by 2, average 500 divided by 1 square meter. So divided by 250 means how many square meter needed? 10 square meter. 10 into what is the cost per square meter? 50. 10 into 50. Getting it. Next one, man. 6000 divided by 2. 3000. 3000 divided by 250. How much square meter needed? 12 into 50 comes to 600. Comfortable. Nothing, man. Every multiple of 1000 only, no. Add 100. 400 become 500. Become 600. 700, 800, 900, 1000. That's it. Because whenever you are increasing the batch size, every batch you are increasing 1000 liter. So 1000 divided by 250 means, sir, you need how much square meter extra? 4 square meter extra. Comfortable? Hello, sir? Look at it, man. Sir, from here 6000 you came to 7000. How much extra liter you are going to manufacture? 1000. But 1000 you should not take. Average only you should take. So half of 1000 will be, so 500 divided by 250 comes to, I need 2 square meter. Into the carrying cost is 50. So 2 into 50 comes to, that's why everything is increased by 100. Logic clear? Easy clear? So total cost will be setup cost plus holding cost. 1250 plus 400 comes to 1650. 1000 plus 500 comes to 1500. 833 plus 600 comes to 1433. 714 plus 700 comes to 1414. 625 plus 800 comes to 1425. 556 plus 900 comes to 1456. 500 plus 1000 comes to 1500. That means as the total cost is minimum is at 7000 liter. Look at here. Out of all the cost, at what category your total cost is minimum is 7000 liters. Because at 7000 liters, my total cost is 1414. Thus the economic production lot would be 7000 liter as per lottery method. As per, in exam don't write lottery method and all. I am saying trial and error method. As per the trial and error method, better to manufacture 7000 liters in one lot. That means go with 7.14 batches. But don't worry, man. Why are you dying like this? We are having a mathematical formula called as root of 2AB divided by C. That is equal to root of 2 into what is annual demand? 50,000 into what is the setup cost? Per setup is 100 divided by carrying cost per unit per annum. Right, sir? What is the carrying cost? Sir, you have to spend, listen. If you are having doubt, 50 rupees you have to spend for 250 liters. Right, sir? So 50 divided by 250 liters comes to 0.2 is what the carrying cost per unit per annum. Carrying cost per unit per annum. Comfortable? That means, sir, 2 into 50,000 into 100 divided by 0.2 is equal to root of, sir, how much crore? 50 crores, sir. 5 crores, sir. Yes, sir, 5 crores. Root of 5 crores comes to 7,071 liters. More or less, our lottery method is matching with the EBQ method in this question. Comfortable? So, economic batch quantity is equal to root of 2DS divided by C. D stands for what demand? Annual demand. For how much liter? Sir, S stands for setup cost per batch. How much per batch? C stands for carrying cost per unit of production. So, 50 divided by 250 come to 0.2 per liter per annum. So, root of 50,000, 2 into 50,000 into 100 divided by 0.2 into 1 come to 7071 liters. Comfortable? So, for production batch size of how much liter? 7,000 liters. Either you need 7.14 batches, already we calculated, or round off to how many setup? 8 setup. So, 8 into 100 comes to 800. Comfortable? And average quantity will be 7,000 divided by 2 comes to, you will carry 3,500 liters every time. Into, sir, 3,500 liter divided by 250 liter. Because for every 250 liter, you need 1 square meter. Into for every 1 square meter, you have to pay 50. That means 700 again. Because, sir, here it is not matching, sir. Because 7.14 batches only, but you have taken to 8 batches. That's why that 100 rupees difference is coming. So, 700 plus 800 comes to 1,500 is the maximum cost you have to spend here. Here it is exactly 1,414. So, it can be seen that EBQ determined in mathematical formula is how many liter? Slightly vary from determined by the trial and error method. That is 7,000 liters. Are you all really with me? So, this is what the use of the batch costing, my dear lovable students. This is a 5-mark area for examination. You may get a unit costing, very simple question, or you may get a batch costing, that economic what quantity? Batch quantity, which is nothing but root of 2AB divided by C. 2 stands for 2. A stands for annual demand. B stands for batch cost, which is nothing but setup cost per batch divided by carrying cost per unit per annum. Carrying cost. EBQ is a level at which the, sir, your carrying cost will be exactly equal to the setup cost. Because if one increases and other decreases and other decreases and other increases, you will lose the equilibrium. So it is the economic level or the equilibrium level at which your carrying cost will be exactly equal to the. With this, we can say that we are through with 2 chapters, my dear lovable students. Unit costing and batch costing. Unit and batch costing comes to an end.